This weekend, Yankton is hosting the 2014 South Dakota Democratic State Convention, which began Thursday and runs through Saturday. Friday night's banquet included speeches by a number of Democratic leaders and candidates and was highlighted by a speech from former Minneapolis Mayor R.T. Rybak.
And if you stop and think about that, you recognize the fundamental issue of why we are Democrats is that in tough times, people come together. That's the fundamental. You can take and strip apart everything else, but the simple thing is, in tough times, we recognize you're not in it alone. And again, I was raised a Republican. I don't think all Republicans are bad people, but if you look at the values of today's Republican Party, it's very different than that. It says in tough times, you're in it yourself. You're on your own. Strip away everything, all the rhetoric, the talk shows, everything else. It's a fundamental issue that we have right now. A Democratic Party that believes in tough times we come together, and a Republican Party that today's Republicans believe that in tough times you're in it alone. Ask for their vote, and that's kind of how it works, okay? No poll gets the vote. No pundit out of Washington gets to pull the lever or fill in the check box here in South Dakota. One by one, person by person, neighborhood by neighborhood, town by town, that's how you win an election. Rick is going to be the next United States Senator. I will tell you, he's going to do it because he's got exactly what Paul Wellstone and exactly what it is. It's going to take something different, okay? Then I didn't get to meet the incredible woman who made that pitch at the beginning. I don't want to sound too much like that amazing speech because it was so great, but it's going to take all of you doing something here. Because the way that Paul Wellstone won is he was outspent by a lot of money for a whole long time. But what happened is we all said we're just simply going to have to do something different. We're going to do a real grassroots campaign. We're all going to put in 20 bucks or 30 bucks or 100 bucks or 250 bucks. And once we do enough of that, enough of that, enough of that, some of those other people who give much bigger checks will get around to doing it. And the ads came and the ads came and they were attacking Paul every day and every day. But what happened is Paul put on this great ad that said, I don't have much money, so I have to talk really fast. And they had to move it really fast, okay, all over this thing. Well, Paul was an amazing guy, but so is Rick. And I'm telling you, this is exactly, that is the playbook for you guys to win this Senate race. And I'm going to be over here doing the work. But if I see anybody in this room dogging it, okay, everybody's going to do that. Everybody's going to work hard. We're going to elect Rick to the Senate, and that is going to be exactly what it is. Do you want more?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I could have got up here faster, but like Stephen Colbert, I like to hear the applause. Thank you for the kind interjection. Thanks as well to the South Dakota Democratic Party for organizing this convention and for everyone that is here working for winning state slate of candidates for November. It's an honor to be here tonight with some of the sharpest minds in the South Dakota Democratic Party, as well as Frank Klochek. Well, I can't quite say that I've enjoyed every minute of it. I have enjoyed the vast majority. I worked on farm bills, water bills, and transportation bills. I sought funding for libraries, universities, parks, levees, and any other public infrastructure projects that were needed across our state. I'm also proud of the legislative accomplishments, whether it is voting in favor of the Affordable Care Act, Wall Street reform legislation, promoting renewable energy, standing up for family farms, or meeting or treating trust responsibilities to the tribes. Throughout my time in office, I've tried to do right by South Dakotans. It is my hope that I've contributed to making our country more progressive, strong, and fair.
Woman by the name of Miriam Silver. I don't know Miriam. But she said just a simple thanks. And it was thanks to a email that I sent out earlier today that I want to share with you. Dear friends, I'm told that taking the side of a gay person is too controversial, not smart politics in South Dakota. Maybe it isn't smart politics to stand up for a young man reportedly forced by his employer to wear a name tag reading "gaytard." Given the deafening silence of other candidates, that would seem to be their judgment. My question to them is, what if they were your son, being forced to publicly humiliate themselves to keep their job? Do you really want to be elected so badly you're willing to turn away from ugly, hurtful discrimination against a young man who may not be your son, but easily could be? I do not want to be a United States Senator that much. So let me be clear. If what's been reported about this story is true, it was a crime. That no other candidate has said boo about it is truly sad. I hope they will find soon their voices and their courage to speak out against this atrocity, because whether saying so is good politics or not, gratuitous public humiliation of one human being by another is always wrong. Miriam said thanks. We stand up as Democrats here in South Dakota. Recognize Tim and Mark Johnson for all their hard work and for making us a Democratic Party all these years. We had a wonderful dinner a few months ago, McGovern Day dinner. It was a true tribute to Barb and Tim. But they have given me the strength and the confidence and the courage to step into this political arena again, because without their support, without their guidance, their counsel, this simply wouldn't be possible. And for their gift to the South Dakota Democratic Party, well, I tell you what, that is overly generous, and it is going to set us on a course to victory not only in 2014, but 2016, 2018, 2020, 22, 2024. So thank you.
For more on this story, visit yankton.net. For the Press and Dakotan, this is Jeremy Hoyk.